Joining us is Yemisi Egbawale, a Democrat strategist, former chief of staff and advisor to the Biden press office. Welcome, Yemisi. It's great to see you again, and thank you for joining us. With tragedy all around the world, the U.S., the Middle East, Australia, Americans tend to like divided government, whether by design or default. And I'm trying to figure out why that is. Why do you think it is?
Well, we've elevated our politicians into rock stars, and we've created the political arena as something of a theater now. So it's almost that if somebody comes in and they're in the middle, they're a bit quiet, they're not chasing after virality, we don't know what to do with them anymore. A lot of our political conversations are happening online, and they're happening in silos because of our algorithms. I mean, even now, between Republican and Democrat, I would say between genders, men and women are even more divided. So I think we've just gotten used to looking at the people that agree with us, the people that reinforce the things that we say, and we don't look outside of that. So it's hard for politicians that aren't creating noise to break through.
That's a very good point. I actually happen to agree with you on that also, but don't tell anyone that we agree on that. I want to listen to the former vice president together, and then I want to ask you kind of a quasi-political question after that.
And obviously, we must focus on the midterms. But Democrats, we must also have a clear vision for what comes after the midterms and then after Trump. We need to answer the question, what comes next for our party and our democracy?
All right, Yemisi, California is experiencing outmigration. More people are leaving than are moving there, and yet it looks to me as an outsider like the top two candidates on the Democrat side are both Californians, and Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris. Is that going to work? And why would it work better than like an Andy Beshear or a Roy Cooper who can win in red states?
Well, Trey, coming from Georgia, you know, like the South and Southern Democrats. I don't believe that a California ideology really plays well nationally. I think for now, Newsom and Harris are the people that have the highest name recognition. But being at the top at this point, before we get to 2028, might work as a disadvantage for them because you have to maintain staying at the top. And Newsom's been playing this long game with Trump, doing the trolling, doing all the things on X. I mean, he just recently got into an argument with Nicki Minaj. I don't know how that maintains as fresh for the average everyday voter. I think by the end of 2026, we might get a little bit tired of this charade.
All right, you made reference to something. I want to follow up on it. This is the second time that I've had the pleasure of hosting you, but we actually have friends in common. We have mutual friends. Republicans do less well with women of color than any other group I can think of. And I have spent, when I was in politics, part of my time trying to figure out why that was. Was it the message? Is it the manner in which we communicate? Is it a perceived lack of connection? But as a white male Republican, I am less likely to get a woman of color's vote than I am any other group I can think of. And I'm trying to figure out why.
Well, I think that black women have, of course, always been the most consistent base for the Democratic Party. We know that 92% of them came out for Harris. But I wouldn't put it so confidently for black women always supporting the Democratic Party. There's a push right now for the party to focus less on ideology and the cultural markers of what makes a voter and more on the economic impact and wishes of the voter. I do think Democrats have always done a really good job of centering black women and listening to their opinions and their voices. Black women have always really pushed for caring more about reproductive health. And we know that for women under the age of 30 right now, they're the largest demographic that this pro-choice, anti-choice conversation isn't really the biggest issue for them. Black women are oftentimes the leaders of their family units. And so they want politicians who speak to them as the leaders, as the people who are oftentimes making the most money in their families. And so I think that they've always been able to find Democrats that can speak to them. I mean, we talked about, you mentioned briefly Andy Beshear, and I've got to say he is the person I'm looking at as a front runner for 2028. When he speaks, I think he speaks to people that relate to me as a Southern Democrat. But we've also got to expand beyond that because we've got to convince the people in New York, Michigan, Pennsylvania to also look at people like Andy Beshear.
Well, Yemisi, I hope you have a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas. And I do thank you for being willing to come on. And I don't consider myself to be the enemy or the opponent, but thank you for giving me advice if I ever go back into politics, which I want. But thank you for doing it anyway. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Trey.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.